Hi, today I'm with Joe and Karen Biscoe, both mediums, both with psychic abilities, and Joe practices shamanic. Um, I don't know all about shamanic, but we're going to have Joe explain that in a little bit. And first, I wanted to say thank you for doing this and taking the time. We really appreciate it. What I'd like to know about is your journey. How did you know that you had these abilities, and if you even knew at all? And then how you met Joe and how that transpired into her mentoring both of you, bringing you along, and your journey now that as you continue to grow in your skills and what you've done afterward. So how about Karen, we start with you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I started from quite a young age, really being interested in this kind of work because my auntie was a clairvoyant, and I watched her work and do readings for my family. And I, used to listen to their chats about trance and, this phenomena of a voice being able to speak for a person in a different language. And, I was just totally amazed by it all. So I always was intrigued. And then as I got older, my first experience of being touched by spirit was I was sitting in a mediumship demonstration, and I felt all this cold sort of, engulf me. It was almost like a hug.
Yeah.
And I just froze in the chair, and I just thought, wow. And then as it happened, the lady on the stage said, "And you, my dear, I've got a lady in spirit hugging you right now." And I was blown away. And since that day, I just thought I've got to know more and more. So I did start going to a Tony Stockwell school,
Yeah.
and did some early training then. But my life was busy. I had my own business, the children, and it was just sort of all put on the back burner, really. I dabbled a bit with reading cards for friends and family, but
Right.
never really had the confidence to do anything other than that. And then we met Joe Bradley, and my journey since then. Joe's basically given me so much. She's taught me so much. She's given me the confidence that I never had. I lacked so much confidence.
Yeah.
And Joe's ability to just guide you and sometimes throw you in the deep end, which is what you need.
I know about that.
You'll just be at a retreat and she'll just say, "Right, Karen, you're going to do a mediumship demonstration tonight." Oh, okay. But if I didn't have that, I would never be brave enough to do it. So she's been an amazing a mentor for me. And I dabbled a little bit with trance at Tony Stockwell School, but it was nothing to what Joe's taught.
Yeah.
She's taught me trance and helped me develop my trance. And yeah, I feel like I've come a long way. Definitely benefited from having her in my life, and I've got so much to be grateful for as well.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Joe, we kind of talked a little bit before we did the video, and I found, it interesting that you really didn't know that you had any kind of gift at all. So can you kind of like go into that, your journey, because it's really interesting, and then how you've morphed into the shamanic part of it.
Yeah, like Karen was saying, I sort of got thrown in the deep end really with it all because Karen was invited to a retreat in Wales with Joe and her tutors. Basically, she didn't have the confidence to go on her own, so basically, she said, I'll go if you come along with me." So I'm saying, what do I want to go for? But I did just to get her going. But obviously, I started in the beginners class, and Karen was in advanced. And then we was working, doing psychometry, and ribbon reading and reading objects and stuff. And basically, obviously working with strangers, but I was getting connections with them, and they're basically giving my reading through the equipment. And then basically it was just a bit of a light bulb. Light bulb. It's like something. So there's something here, and and it just then I say to our circle members, just if you go on a retreat, it sort of gives you a kick up the bum that you need to
Right,
move on and develop yourself. Because it's such a lovely atmosphere there, and you're with all these like-minded people, and
right.
it's just it's just amazing. It's just an amazing place to be.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah, and
Hope
then
Spiritual Center, right? Where you're talking,
yeah,
where she
yeah,
runs the retreats. Yeah.
yeah, it's just incredible, and they're everyone there. They're all good friends now that you'd
Yeah.
all I just regard them as my family, like a little spiritual family.
Yes.
Um, and then from then he's sort of their spirit have just put me on different paths really. I started doing an angels and oracles with Joe
Yeah.
and tutors, and then it's gone from that to going more into a shamanic path, which was to do with it's very like shamanic, where it's very healing. It's for past traumas we deal with and breaking down barriers what we put up when
Okay.
traumas have happened. So you
Okay.
don't want to face that no more. So without knowing, in ourselves we put up barriers. So
Right.
you go through a trauma, you go, I don't want to see that no more. So you put a barrier up. But as you
Uh,
go on, as you go on and on through life, and things happen, you sort of get heavier and heavier and heavier. But shamanic journeying, like drum work, working with a healing drum, and just letting spirit take you to where you need to go, not where you think you want to go, but where you need to go.
right.
You go back to that situation and face them fears, and you clear it, and then you move on and move on, and gradually you get lighter and lighter and lighter. It's just doing work within yourself, like, and healing other people as well.
Well, that's really interesting
Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
you've got that ability. And both of you keep working at it, don't you? You sort of run
Ah,
circles at your home now,
yeah,
and you continue your mentorship under Joe, and you
yeah,
progress, right? I mean, could
yeah,
you tell me a
absolutely,
little bit
yeah,
about that?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yes, we do work in this area now. We literally run 2 circles at home. We put on mind, body, spirit fairs. We do evening demonstrations, and then Joe runs Shamanic Circle for people as well. And then I do tutoring on like day workshops,
Okay.
psychic development. So we're constantly working, but you're always learning as well, and there's always something new to learn. So you're never gonna know everything.
Right.
And for us, we just love to learn new things, and we love to experience that with what we call our spiritual family. So yeah, we do continue to go on the retreats with Joe Bradley, and we always recommend her to everyone, including the people that come to our circles. We always say, until you've experienced one of Joe Bradley's retreats, you don't really, the retreats are fabulous because she puts so much into them. You don't get a half a minute's rest. It's constant. She builds so much, so many workshops into the days that you're there, and you get so much out of it. When you come away from one of her retreats, you are on a high for a while, and it takes you a bit of a time to settle back down to normality because you've experienced so much and done so much. So yeah, we will continue to develop ourselves as well as passing on our, whatever we've learned to our, followers.
That's what
last October gone, we've done a week of physical mediumship with her,
okay.
and I was just blown away by that. It was amazing, and I can't wait to this October now.
Can you explain like what you experienced during your physical mediumship workshop?
We was doing seances and getting phenomena occurring. We was doing table tilting with getting connections through that.
Yeah.
And just seeing spirit appear, and just manifesting there. It was just incredible, and I've come away and sort of put that into my circle.
Okay.
And since I come back from that, my circle's just gone, boom. And we're getting a lot going on here now as well. Like,
and so when you say physical and you say spirit and you say phenomena, can you kind of explain like Okay, people that are watching this video probably don't understand what phenomena are you experiencing and what.
So, basically, you sit in circle, like say semicircle, facing a cabinet. So, a cabinet is where someone sits in the cabinet to build up energy. So it goes all around the circle into the cabinet. So all the energy is coming around the circle into the cabinet and building up energy from that. So if you're a physical medium sitting in the cabinet, then the energy comes out of the cabinet and starts producing ectoplasm, just manifesting stuff in front of it, basically, and you get feeling breezes, freezing cold, people touching, people touching you, spirit touching you.
I've experienced that.
And we have a little small table in the middle of the circle, and that's been moving around. Well, I say on its own, but spirit have been moving that table around, and we have a spirit trumpet sat on the table, and they've knocked the trumpet over and picked it up again and stood it back up on its end.
Right.
And they've lifted the trumpet off the table above the table and put it back down again. So we've been experiencing all that kind of phenomena as well, which has been to have that in your circle is incredible. We've been very, very privileged that that's happening for us.
Would you like to see the trumpet?
Yeah, I would like to see the trumpet. That would be getting a visual is always kind of nice. And I've heard about the trumpet.
So basically, that's your trumpet.
Oh, wow.
And the end bit here in the night time sort of glows up. So you get that effect, start off on the table, and then they was picking it up and sort of started to move it around the room a little bit.
Yeah.
So eventually you'll get direct voice through the trumpet.
Oh.
As a message comes through from a loved one or whoever.
Wonderful. And have you had direct voice yet through the trumpet?
Yeah.
Not yet. No, we can't wait for that. But yeah,
you're working toward that. And how big is your circle? How many people?
So 8.
We've got 8 at the moment. 8,
yeah, and you all meet like at your house or something?
Every week. Yeah, we sit at the same time every week. Yeah.
And then how does that work when you're in a circle? Is there one person designated to be like the physical medium, or are you all sitting sort of like in the power? I mean, how does that work because I'm mainly on Zoom, and so I love the fact that having the ability to have people work with you, because having that physical energy from everybody in one room, it's a game changer for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't get to experience that. So when you've got these 8 people together, are you all meditating or?
No, at the moment, we're still trying to sort out who is a physical medium, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So we sit in a circle, we build up power for about 20 minutes, half an hour, just sit there in a meditation sort of state. And then at the moment, sort of taking turns in the cabinet to see who's getting what sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So eventually we know who's who, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that person will sit in there longer to develop themselves.
Okay. So you have a cabinet.
Yeah.
You have an actual cabinet. How was yours built? Is it a regular, is it like?
It's under the stairs.
It's under the stairs.
So the lounge we're sitting in now is a full open plan living room, dining room.
Okay.
So there's a gap under the stairs that I made into my little library nook. So we completely black that out. When we do the seances, we completely black that out, and then it's got a curtain that comes across it. So if you shut the curtain and keep it enclosed, that builds up more power, more energy.
It's really important though that when you're doing the physical part of it and you're sitting in the cabinet, you have to have the rest of the room kind of dark, because I remember and how do you, I mean, it's really
We've-
hard. I have a
Yeah.
closet that I can use,
Good.
you know,
Yeah.
the rest of the room would be, you know, sort of light.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
No,
can't,
we actually bought some blackout material,
okay.
and it velcros to the windows, and then we
Okay.
put sheets over all the doors, so it's literally completely black.
Right. And
Yeah.
I know from my experience, I was in the UK, I think it was November, and yeah, it was really kind of, it was weird. It after the medium sat in the cabinet, all of a sudden it just was like really, really dark.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It changes all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, even the levels of darkness
Yeah.
change.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing. And we got to see, you know, like things, nothing great, but you know, we could feel people on our feet and we could feel touches
Yeah.
and everything.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, it's nice feeling. But for those out there that think, okay, that they have something, what would you kind of recommend them to do? Like, should they ignore it? Should they?
No, don't ignore it. If you ever knowing, I've got a big knowing about, I don't know, mostly people. I know who's all right and who's not all right, basically. But yeah, go just look into
Developing.
developing. But like I say, a retreat is where you'll get your big boost from,
That,
if you like.
yeah.
Yeah. And you'll come away from there, yeah, a different
you-
mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have both of you come across, you know, putting Joe aside because we know that Joe puts in a lot into her mentorships and she's got like a lot of experience. But and aside from Tony Stockwell, who, you know, I watch a lot of his videos, you know, and it makes sense for me because I'm here in the United States. I'm not in the UK. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to connect with everybody and to get the benefit that you're getting because we don't have that kind of stuff in the United States.
Yeah.
How do you know when you are mentoring with somebody? I don't know if you've had experience outside of Joe and outside of Tony Stockwell that that they're quote unquote for real, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of bad teachers out there, and there's a lot of fraud in spiritual work. We've witnessed it ourselves firsthand how fraudulent people can be. I think again it is having proof of their work, you know, having people, you know, recommend them, you know, references, that sort of thing. I mean, one of the teachers that worked at Tony Stockwell's school was TJ Higgs. Her name's Tracy, but she did the Psychic Detective with Tony and Colin on the television. So she was my main mentor at the school. You know, and she was a fantastic medium, you know, and I'd gone to watch her on mediumship demonstrations and things like that. So I got to see her work outside of teaching as well. So it's always good if you can have recommendations and things like that instead of just blindly trusting.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
It's the same as Joe's. If all the tutors at Joe's who I've worked with, I've just got so much from all of them. And I'm in contact with all of them all the time now as well. So yeah, it's just their experience passing it on to you. And if you want to go backwards to ask them questions, if you get stuck, they're there. You know what I mean? It's amazing, isn't it?
It's also because of the fact that we are in touch with our spirit guides and we do this kind of work for loved ones, trying to connect physical mediumship. It's also, you have to worry about the dark side, right? I mean, you have to be aware of that. Can you talk a little bit about that? How you both deal with that aspect, if it at all?
I have done a retreat with Joe for the dark side as well, and Terry. Don't know, a second. What's it?
Breeze.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Terry
Yeah.
Breeze. I talk to her nearly every day, but yeah, and I've learned so much about that. Really, is just the protection side, as it setting intentions of keeping your circle safe, keeping everyone in the circle safe.
Right.
I do that every day anyway, like in meditation, and just
Right.
ask them to protect us. But
Right.
I don't know, you just, like I should just say, a knowing. It's like when something bad enters a room.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know. It's just a knowing. Plus, sometimes you get a smell come up,
Yeah.
like sulfate. Yeah, it's just an horrible feeling, to be truthful. But I know. But their spirit have given me a job on the table, like table tilt, is of getting rid of attachments off of people like
Right.
that. Don't ask me how it come about.
I know.
That's how it happened. It's
I know people
Yeah.
don't understand what an attachment is,
No.
and what it can make you actually do, or what
Yeah.
it kind of whispers in your ear,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
and you don't always know it, but I'm beginning to feel it, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
get really uncomfortable, or just something doesn't feel right to me, but I haven't developed to the point where you are right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm
You
just
start getting a bit snappy and feeling low. You just know you're not yourself.
right,
And
exactly.
yeah, and we've had counsellors come here because they're just not right. They feel they're not right in themselves.
Right.
So they've made an appointment to come,
Yeah.
just to check their energy out and stuff like that.
Right.
And they've actually got punches and all things like that to try and stop them getting here,
Yeah.
which is really bizarre. When it sounds
Right.
really bizarre, but I say, well, go and get your puncture done and then carry on coming,
Right.
because that's them trying to stop you coming.
Right.
And
They're
they
going to
do, they
stop you.
do, yeah, yeah. We get results all the time, like saying how different they feel within a couple of days and stuff like that.
A little
It's
bit.
bizarre.
We've done a couple of house clearances for people that have had bad spirits in their homes as well. We've done that, and we've had some really good results, with the whole energy of the house changing after they've been gone. We're lucky because we've got a really, really strong spiritual team with us. Our guides are so good. They're so strong, and when the team all come together to work on removing an attachment, the energy is so powerful. It is truly a blessing, really. So we're so grateful for the team that are working with us all the time as well.
That probably helps that you're both together when you can build the power sort of off of each other. You draw off of each other, and so that makes it more, I don't want to, how do I want to say it, bigger, your ability.
Definitely,
And then when you get around other people, I think people can probably draw from your energy, to heighten their energy, because I know, when I sit alone and I practice blending with spirit, that I know they're there. But when I'm with Joe, it's like, it's weird because it will come in so much stronger than it is when I'm sitting alone. And that kind of really is like, I want my own circle. But here in the United States, people wouldn't probably even understand what that is.
We was on a retreat with Joe Bradley, and there was a vortex in one of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
So Joe asked a few of us to get together, and we was all holding hands around the bed trying to close this vortex. And I actually started to levitate off the floor. So Joe Bradley called my Joe in and said, "Can you put your hand on her head for a minute?" Because they was drawing so much of my energy to get this vortex closed. It was incredible, wasn't it? It was so powerful.
I've never seen that before. It's like Harry Potter. It's mad.
That would be very strange if you started to levitate, but also, proof that there is entities and spirits out there. So yeah, it's really amazing. Well, I wanted to take this time to thank you both because we've covered a lot, and I love your journey, and I love that you've gone on both together. Although Joe, you didn't want to at first,
Got forced into it.
but look what happens when your better
Yeah.
half forces you
Yeah.
to do something. All of a sudden, boom, you know something, and I'm sure that you're helping a lot of people, you know, where
Yeah,
you are.
yeah.
And I wish you all the best as you develop your circle. I'm jealous that I can't be there, but maybe one day.
Yeah.
So thank you a lot. And we will, I'm going to put this on YouTube so you can watch yourselves. I'm going to do a little bit of editing. And I think a lot of people will be interested in your journey.
Oh, thank you.
very
Thank you a lot.
much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.